John Senden coming off a birdie on 4. And the pitcher tells a story. Just blocking it out to the right. That won't catch the swale in this par 3 green. So we'll have a birdie putt from around about 40 feet. Putted as a real star. He's been held up in lights all week as Johnny Senden putts down the slope for his birdie. But it's really the first time that Lucas has been sitting in press conferences, has had people saying, you know, you're an up-and-coming star in Australian golf. The pressure of that and the dynamic of that is something that a young player really has to get used to.
In saying that, he doesn't mind it. I mean, all the quotes that I've read and the press conference I've listened to.
It's made about 1.5 million euros on the European Tour in the last few years. Johnny Senden. Lovely flowing, languid golf swing. And it might just trickle into the left-hand side rough.
Hold back about another 8 or 10 metres, that false front. So he'd be looking at a number about 10 or 15 feet past the flag. You don't see John Senden take his hand off the club too often, and that's a little flare out to the right. Similar shot off the last hole as well.
Senden. Good to see him back playing again.
We live, and it's nice to spend 2 weeks in the sun in Hawaii.
Sendo made a couple of putts. Second into the water, so. Oh, what was that? The shaft broke, did it? Shaft broke on the as he started down.
I have never ever seen that ever. It looks like it broke in the grip.
Yeah.
It looks like the shaft broke in the grip. This is unbelievable. Watch this here. The actual, yeah, you can just see that the grip, the shaft in the grip just snapped. And well, Grays, I think that's
a stroke.
It's an air swing, isn't it?
Yes, yes. Wow. I just hope he hasn't hurt himself.
But the bigger issue is whether Johnny Senden's hurt himself here, because the shaft could very well have stabbed him in the hand, which I think is somewhat likely. You can see him shaking his hand in pain, and that is extremely unlucky. I've never ever seen that happen.
You're down there. This is just extraordinary.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in my life, where it snapped right at impact. And as you said, I believe it's unfortunately for John Senden, I think it's going to be counted as a stroke because he made a pass at the ball. But I don't think he's, from the looks of it, I don't think he's too badly injured. But gosh, it'd certainly shake you up. You know, I mentioned to him before he went out today about he walked into a branch here 2 years ago. Something's jinxed for John Senden around Royal Pines.
Yeah, it's very unlucky, Ewan, and not to mention the fact that he can't use a driver for the rest of the round. And
Jose, come in. Langer's come in. I believe you've made the attempt to swing at the shot. I just want to clarify. Langer's come in. You get it back up? No, not a shaft, no. Okay, yeah, during John's downswing, the shaft is snapped under the grip. He's lost the grip of the club. I got to the top of the backswing. Got to the top of the backswing. Club broke. His club's basically broken in his hand. The second ball, I've got the rules guys on TV.
I know, but I think this is crazy.
I've got Langers and John Paramore on the line.
So you're going to punish a guy for being punished already? Like, it's just give me a break.
Unfortunately, it's not his fault. It's not the rules guy's fault. And Let's have a look at it in super slow-mo here. Let's go to the bunker.
I would totally understand if he was coming down on the ball. But
He's tried to, once it's broken, he's tried to go away from the ball, but he had started down. Okay. John Senden. The ball is obviously off the tee. Ewan, can you fill us in as to what has happened with this group? After a long delay, and he's still shaking his hand in pain.
Well, he's just hit that one well out to the right, and totally understandable after everything he's just been through the last 15 minutes. But the issue now is they're over a par 5 behind as well.
He needs to gather his thoughts here and put that behind him.
Fade a little.
Yeah, excellent shot there from Johnny Senden.
It looked like it was on the fairway, but it's found the putting surface.
Oh, geez. John Senden has skied this tee shot into the breeze. It's almost coming backwards.
Came out here as a 10-year-old with his family, moved to Perth. Joined Adam Scott and Jason Days, the winner of the Oz Junior. John Senden, iron in hand. Second shot here.
John Senden in a good position here. Loop today.
This for birdie. Little pitch shot of John Senden. Just sounded like the club bounced a touch.
As Wayne Grady said, the club just bouncing a little, catching it a little clean, and as a result, leaves himself with a 25-footer for birdie. Very gutsy afternoon after breaking his driver shaft by accident on hole number 9. He's got this to get back to 2 under.
Always right. Somewhere in Australia they're making up a new driver for him, surely. Well, as Dottie said earlier, Al, sorry, you only need the shaft now because it's so easily replaceable. Ireland carried a lot of love and thoughts of golfers globally. Yeah, he certainly has. As he's just tugged that a little bit left. But hang on, stay up. Things are looking better this year. Thing was on the golf course. His countryman, Yong Jae, is already in at 5 underway. To stay in red figures. That'll be a round of 72 for John Senden. One of the more adventurous 72s that we're likely to see this week. We understand he'll go and see the tour officials and discuss the goings-on 9T. Yeah, I think once he sees the video of him making the swing where the club shaft breaks and he continues through, he might agree with the officials. They've said it was an attempt to hit the ball. Out in 35, home in 37. It all adds up to 72, and that's even par here at Royal Pines for John Senden.
John, I've got to ask you about the 9th tee. You're 2 under par after 8 holes. 9th hole, par 5, birdie opportunity. You're standing up there with the driver in hand. Take it to the top. Then what happened?
Well, the actual club broke and the handle coming down into the impact area had no chance of actually stopping the shot. So unfortunately, that counts as actually 1 stroke. So I was playing 2 shots off the tee. So you know, it just happens. It's sometimes I've seen it happen before to other players, but first time it's happened to me in a tournament. So unfortunately, you know, it was just, you know, it happened. It was just the force of it coming down and then snapped right in just in front of my forefinger on the right hand, and when the club collapsed in this area, I come down and it just I had no chance of stopping the shot. So the whole thing was it actually spooked me a bit.
I was going to say, like, did you actually hurt yourself at all when you did it?
Yeah, well, the club handle at the top of the shaft actually bent into where it snapped, and it snapped just above this finger, and it felt like it jammed my finger rather than sort of like bent it. So it pinched it a bit. So that was where I was feeling quite the discomfort from that. So so had to learn how to go with the 3-wood all day. So but anyway, it worked okay after that.
What about the drop? What happened there? Because they were going to make you play from a high tee, it looked like initially, the original tee, and then you took a drop.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of discussion in what the procedure was for the drop issue. So, and basically what happened in the end was I could actually just take the ball off the tee. I could actually drop the ball in the exact spot where I was playing from and add 1. So that was the correct procedure for the rule.
Do you have a spare driver to put in the bag tomorrow? And you could have.
I got my driver. I just got to get a new shaft, I guess. So unfortunately, all my shafts are in Brisbane, but I'll have to get a fresh shaft in the morning to play with tomorrow. So it'll work out, I'm sure.
Well, we appreciate your time. Thanks, John.
Thanks.